ScarletMambo.com.
Our own conflicts being a married couple. Being married is not easy. So, throughout the night we have an argument about something that takes us to somewhere else. But by the end of the night, we make up and we get back together. And, so it's this love story that goes on with me and my wife there.
It is important to remember that it was Israel Cachao Lopez and his brother Orestes who coined the word Mambo in a Cuban danzón recorded in 1938. Also, Mambo is an African word meaning conversation with the gods. That is why Mambo dancing is a form of communication based on the African traditions of call and response.
It's amazing because, we are doing ballet steps and then 2 seconds later we're dancing on the two. We're doing a mambo, we're doing the salsa, the cha-cha, and we're just putting everything together. And as a dancer, it's really wonderful because you're just using every aspect that you've learned throughout your entire career, and all of a sudden it's just in one piece. So it's great. At the Palladium, Latin bands often challenged dancers to excel beyond their own expectations. They played pulsating rhythms that created a sense of euphoria and tested the dancer's ability to improvise on a variety of accented beats. These jam sessions became legendary moments of an instant creativity at the Palladium.
The dancers have to keep alive, waiting to hear what's happening, and the musician is seeing the dancer, and whatever the dancer does, they respond. So that's why it's so magical. There's dancing with live music, there's nothing like it.
Ballet Hispanico's Palladium Nights features the big band sound of Arturo O'Farrill, son of the great band leader and Palladium legend, Chico O'Farrill. Arturo stays true to the tradition of challenging the dancers to be creative.
It keeps it alive for us because, you find a lot of different things every night. The show is very different. Sometimes they play slower, sometimes they play faster, sometimes the note's higher here or a little bit longer there. So, it really keeps us on our toes, and they're really wonderful with watching us and, catching little things here and there with the cymbals and things like that. So it's really, really interesting to do it because, in the dance world, we don't normally improvise on stage, and we're not really improvising, but we're having to recreate a new ballet every night, which is really, really exciting for us.
It's this energy that starts off like a volcano that we just feed off each other. It's amazing playing with them. They're the best.
In addition to the best music and dancers, the Palladium also required that men and women dress to impress. Elegance and style gave the dance movements a sense of class. Meanwhile, outside the Palladium, social issues were still a great concern.
Socially, remember that the United States was segregated at that time, 1947, right after the war. But there was one place where it was not segregated, and that was the Palladium. And in fact, when we were researching the Palladium, we found out the police department had taken a lot of photographs of the people waiting to get into the Palladium. Everybody dressed, and you dress especially to go downtown because it was not your neighborhood.
Of course, you have to come with your Sunday best, your Saturday best, your Thursday best, whatever day it is. You better be on top of it, or it's just not going to happen. And that's the thing, we have to really go back into history and think about these things, because for our generation, you know, we could go to the clubs and, you know, wear tennis shoes and jeans and things like that sometimes. But in, you know, the 1950s and 60s, that's not how it happened. You know, everybody had a suit, tie, or, you know, nice shoes, nice dress socks, hair combed, you know, no hats, no glasses. So it's very different, very, very different atmosphere to be aware of that. A lovely atmosphere as well.
Even the bands, special guests, and professional entertainers had to dress to draw attention, respect, and admiration.
In that period, we were very careful how we dress and what we wanted to project, not only on stage but off stage, because there wasn't as much work as there is now. So you made sure that you looked the part, and that if they were going to choose someone, it would be you. Everybody in my school, at least that goes to my school, while they're in the school, they're properly dressed and groomed.
The art of professionalism is also being taught at the Starlight Studio in Nutley, where young dancers learn from the past.
In the 1950s, it was pretty different than how we do it, but it looked like fun.
Like in the 1950s, I saw it was more freestyle, and like almost all of the steps were different. Still, like today in modern day, it doesn't look like cha-cha. It looks like a completely different dance.
Yeah.
The cha-cha-cha was a dance step and rhythmic pattern that was originally a part of the mambo. When it branched off, it became one of the most popular and innovative dances at the Palladium.
Oh
We
my
think
God.
they were pretty amazing, weren't they?
Oh my gosh, and it was a lot more fast-paced. I
Yeah.
noticed that.
I know some people from the Palladium area, they come here to dance because once a month we're running a salsa night. We call it Noche Caliente. The new dancers who come, they're the same way, enjoy watching them dance. They try to copy what they do.
What I try to teach is the good feeling that they're supposed to have inside and put the feeling from their body into the dance floor.
Similar to the Palladium era, men and women of different nationalities often paired off as dance partners.
Just having fun, going out and dancing. You know? That's what it's all about.
Viva Palladium!
A lot of people are not aware that in the 50s, in the Palladium, they was already doing certain dances that they think is from this era. But actually in the 50s, they was already doing it. Like the break dancing, the pop locking, the voguing, the electric boogaloo, like we call it, but they call it pop locking today. So these are the moves that were the foundation at the beginning, which evolved into other forms of dance.
But it was the mambo that became the favorite dance at the Palladium, and among the great dancers was the sensational Millie Danay. She became an international star and was the lead solo dancer for Damaso Perez Prado, the king of the mambo. In 1943, he created and introduced the first mambo dance steps at the Tropicana Club in Cuba.
I'm Addie Diaz, and I am a New York mambo dancer. I had the opportunity to be a cast member and a choreographer of the off-Broadway musical Latin Madness, and I had the privilege to portray Millie Danay, who is a mambo legend, a Palladium dancer, a pioneer for female Latin dancers.
It was at the Palladium that the young Italian Millie Danay teamed up with a Puerto Rican dance legend, Pedro Aguilar, nicknamed Cuban Pete by Desi Arnaz and crowned by Life magazine as the greatest mambo dancer ever.
So we just have to do a tribute to those dancers that made the Palladium the mecca of mambo dancing.